Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. The official purses for the Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury fight card have been revealed, and it's thrown up several surprises, and not least the main event with the purses, well, what they're getting, their initial cut from this fight. But there's actually several other interesting points there, and that's the reason I'm doing this video, because I was expecting to just wield some of this sort of stuff into a post-fight video and such, but Travis Kaufman and Joe Hanks doing very well for themselves, and Hanks is getting a bigger cut of the pie than Joe Joyce is, and I think there's a few reasons for that. But what we'll do is we'll start at the top and then we'll go down to the bottom. There's some paydays in this card, $2,500, and you kind of wonder, why are they even bothering? Because that's only going to keep the lights on for a few weeks. You know, you can only feed your family for so long on that sort of money. But in terms of starting at the top, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, and you might remember the Telegraph not too many days ago came out with a story saying that the reported fight purses for Fury and Wilder, for Wilder it was meant to be $14 million US, and for Fury $10 million US. So obviously, what Dan Rafael has reported from the California State Athletic Commission is significantly different. So for Wilder, it's not $14 million, it's $4 million. And for Fury, it's not 10, it's $3 million. But the brief article in which Rafael has reported says both stand to earn millions more from their percentage of the profits from the event. And, you know, that certainly is going to be the case for this. You know, the pay-per-view is going to do a decent number of buys, and whatever it is, they're going to get a cut of the back end here. So it could end up being that Deontay Wilder gets somewhere between $10 and $15 million, and Fury gets somewhere around $10 million. I mean, we'll just have to see how well it does. Obviously, if it goes great guns, then obviously they get more. If it does less, then they get less. But in terms of the next bit, and this is a real disparity. So this co-main event, Jarrett Hurt, $1 million. His opponent, who was, you know, let's say overmatched, Jason Wellborn, $30,000. And I was thinking to myself, $30,000 and you're part of the co-main event? And Hurd, you can understand that purse, he's a unified champion, but Wellborn, $30,000. And sure, this is a tune-up fight of sorts, but I was thinking that Wellborn was going to do well more than that, and this really isn't going to cover much of his camp. I mean, I guess it's great exposure. It's probably going to be a career highlight for Jason Wellborn, being in this sort of fight, pay-per-view card, the world stage and all that sort of stuff. But $30,000, Jesus wept. Luis Ortiz, so $375,000. And I thought, actually, that's pretty good for Ortiz. That will be his second highest payday from, you know, what has been reported in the past. He got $500,000 for the Deontay Wilder fight. But what I was surprised about was his opponent, Travis Kaufman, $125,000. And I think that sort of money for Travis Kaufman, I think that shows that, you know, he's driven a hard bargain here, and he's actually sort of said, you know, I'm not going to be lowballed here. And I think it shows the struggle in which, you know, they tried to get an opponent for Luis Ortiz, but they found it hard to do so. So they've drafted in Kaufman. They've had to overpay him here, $125K, and he's doing all right for himself. And this is probably going to be one of Kaufman's biggest, if not biggest, payday. So good luck to him, because obviously he's earned that money. But the one that really caught my eye was Joe Joyce and Joe Hanks. And Joe Hanks is getting paid more than Joe Joyce, if you can believe that. So $50,000 to $40,000 for Joe Joyce. And similar to the Luis Ortiz situation, they wanted to have Joyce on this card. They've obviously found it hard to get him an opponent, and they've had to overpay Hanks, you know, pay him $50,000. And Joe Joyce has had to take a smaller cut. He's got $40,000. And when you think about it, how often is it that an unheralded guy like Joe Hanks is going to get more than the guy, the rising prospect, the one that's got some buzz around his name? He's getting 20% more than Joe Joyce is. You know, he's getting 10K more. That's, you know, I was kind of very surprised about that. Some of these other sort of paydays on here, I mean, Julian Williams, he's getting $30,000 for this fight. His opponent, $2,500. There's a few guys that are getting $2,500 here. Isaac Lowe is getting $5,000. And we've got to remember, some of these guys have been in camp for weeks now. Like Isaac Lowe, he's known he's had a fight coming up on this, and he's getting $5,000. I mean, does that even cover his travel, all his expenses? I mean, he'll be going backward at that rate. But I guess, for him, some of the experience will be invaluable. Some other guys here are getting some okay money given that it's on the non-televised part of the card. I mean, Chris Arreola is getting $25,000 for fighting a nobody. We've got Robert Guerrero, he's getting $25,000 as well. Lorenzo Smith, $16,000, but I feel sorry for these guys. $2,500. Adam Mate, $2,500. I mean, what's that going to keep the lights on for, a few weeks, a month? I mean, it's very hard to feed your family and box professionally for $2,500. I'd imagine some of these guys probably get bigger paydays on other cards, much lower profile cards. But I guess being part of this event, you can always say, look, I fought on a pay-per-view event, even if it was on the non-televised part of the card. But boxing can be a ruthless sport. It's kind of, like a pyramid style, all the money is at the top and, there's just not much at the bottom. And, in a way that's a shame because you see some of these guys just grinding it out, living the life, dedication galore, and they're getting $2,500, $5,000 for a fight. It really is, it's almost criminal. It's, oh man, that sort of money is just tragic. But then you've got someone like Jarrett Hurd who's facing Jason Wellborn, getting $1 million to Wellborn's $30,000, and this is just a tune-up fight for Jarrett Hurd. It's it's kind of incredible. I think Travis Kaufman, he's done well for his $125K. Joe Hanks, $50,000, $10K more than Joe Joyce. Wow. Okay, so I just wanted to drop a few thoughts on that, but yes, certainly some very interesting information here. And we'll have to see how the pay-per-view does. And Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, certainly they do stand to earn millions more. How many more millions? Well, we're probably not really ever going to know, but they certainly won't be going hungry anytime soon. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.
If you want even more boxing content, come and join me on Patreon.
Every week on a Sunday, I drop a new video on something topical or thought-provoking from the heavyweight division, ranging from rankings, the business of boxing, the false economy of deluded fanboys, the twists and turns in the division, to assessments of fighters and their statements. I hope to see you there, and for more information go to patreon.com/boxing squared. The address is on screen now.